The first thing you need to know about Mare Barrow is that she's not afraid of stealing. Not when hunger gnaws at her stomach like a feral beast, not when her family's survival depends on scraps scavenged from the streets of the stilts, an overcrowded slum where Reds live stacked atop one another like firewood. But this time, as her fingers close around a loaf of bread in the bustling market square, something feels different. Maybe it's the way the silver guards watch her with eyes colder than steel, or maybe it's the faint hum of electricity crackling through the air, a reminder of the power they wield and she does not. Mare freezes. She sees him before he even speaks, a boy no older than herself, his uniform pristine, his posture rigid. His lips curl into a smirk that makes her skin crawl. Reds aren't supposed to steal, he says, his voice dripping with disdain. And just like that, Mare's world shrinks to the size of her heartbeat pounding in her ears. She knows what happens next. Punishment for Reds isn't justice, it's spectacle. A lesson carved into flesh for all to see. But then, something extraordinary happens. As the guard reaches for her wrist, the ground beneath them trembles, not from fear, but from Mare herself. Lightning arcs between her fingertips, blue-white and blinding, striking the guard square in the chest. He collapses, unmoving. For a moment, silence hangs heavy over the marketplace. Then chaos erupts. How can this be? Reds don't have powers. Silvers do. That's the rule, the law written in blood since the dawn of their fractured society. Yet here stands Mare Barrow, a girl born with red blood coursing through her veins, wielding lightning like some ancient goddess of vengeance. The impossible has happened, and there's no going back. From the ashes of that day rises a new reality, one far more dangerous than anything Mare could have imagined. Within hours, she's dragged before King Tiberius VI himself, ruler of Norda and patriarch of the Silver Elite. Instead of executing her, however, the king offers her a deal: become a pawn in his game, masquerading as a long-lost silver princess named Marina Titanos. In exchange, her family will be spared. It's a cruel twist of fate, forcing Mare to abandon everything she is, everything she thought she knew about her place in the world, to survive. And so begins her descent into the gilded cage of the royal palace, where every wall gleams with polished silver and every smile hides a dagger. Here, among the silvers, Mare learns firsthand the depth of their arrogance, their cruelty. They move through life as gods among mortals, their abilities, fire, water, telekinesis, invisibility, making them untouchable. To them, Reds are nothing more than tools, their lives expendable. But Mare isn't just surviving anymore, she's watching, learning, plotting. Because deep down, she knows the truth. She may wear a mask now, but inside, she burns brighter than ever. Her days are filled with lessons in etiquette, history, and deception, each one chipping away at her identity. At night, she writes secret messages to her brother Shade, a Scarlet Guard rebel fighting against the Silver regime. Through these letters, Mare finds solace and purpose. The Scarlet Guard believes Mare can ignite a revolution, using her existence as proof that Reds are not powerless after all. But trust is fragile, especially when betrayal lurks around every corner. One evening, during a lavish banquet held in honor of Prince Maven, the youngest son of the king, Mare finds herself seated beside Cal, the crown prince. There's an intensity to him, a quiet strength that draws her in despite herself. Their conversations are brief, guarded, yet charged with unspoken tension. Cal is everything Mare despises about the Silvers: privileged, commanding, untouchable, but there's also kindness in him, buried beneath layers of duty and expectation. When he asks her why she risks so much to help the Scarlet Guard, Mare hesitates. How do you explain rebellion to someone who has never known oppression? "I fight because I have to," she whispers finally, her voice barely audible over the clinking of crystal glasses. "Because if I don't, who will?" Cal doesn't respond, but his gaze lingers on hers long after the music resumes. In that moment, Mare wonders if perhaps not all Silvers are beyond redemption, but then she remembers the scars etched into her own skin, reminders of their cruelty. Trust is a luxury she cannot afford. As weeks pass, Mare grows closer to both princes, though for very different reasons. Maven, soft-spoken and gentle, seems genuinely interested in her well-being. He listens when she speaks, offers comfort when the weight of her double life becomes too much to bear. With him, Mare dares to dream of a future where red and silver might coexist. Cal challenges her, pushes her to confront truths she'd rather ignore. Together, they train in combat, their sparring sessions fueled by equal parts rivalry and respect. Sparks fly, not just from Mare's hands, but between them, igniting emotions neither fully understands. Yet beneath the surface, cracks begin to form. Maven grows distant, his smiles tinged with sadness. Cal grows restless, torn between his loyalty to the throne and his growing disillusionment with its corruption. And Mare? She walks a razor's edge, caught between two worlds, two brothers, two versions of herself. Who is she really? A red girl pretending to be silver? A reluctant symbol of hope for a dying rebellion? Or something else entirely? The breaking point comes during a mission for the Scarlet Guard. Disguised as a servant, Mare infiltrates a silver gala to plant evidence linking the royal family to atrocities committed against Reds. But as she moves through the glittering crowd, her heart pounding with every step, she overhears a conversation that shatters her fragile sense of control. Maven and Cal argue heatedly in hushed tones, their voices carrying just enough for Mare to piece together the truth. Maven orchestrated her capture in the marketplace. He knew about her powers all along. Betrayal cuts deeper than any blade. Maven, the boy who promised to understand her pain, used her from the start. Rage surges within Mare, raw and uncontrollable. She wants to scream, to lash out, to burn the entire palace to the ground. But instead, she forces herself to breathe, to focus. Revenge will come, but not tonight. By the time Mare returns to her chambers, exhaustion threatens to overwhelm her. She stares at her reflection in the mirror, searching for traces of the girl she once was. All she sees is a stranger wearing a stolen face. Tears blur her vision, hot and relentless. What has she become? A weapon? A liar? Both? Neither? Before she can answer, the door creaks open. Maven steps inside, his expression unreadable. For a moment, they simply stare at each other, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy between them. Then Maven speaks, his voice soft but firm. "You're stronger than you think, Mare. Stronger than any of us." It's a compliment wrapped in warning, a reminder of the role she must play. But Mare doesn't care about roles anymore. She cares about survival, about freedom, about justice. And as she meets Maven's gaze, resolve hardens within her like tempered steel. "Maybe," she says quietly, "but don't mistake strength for forgiveness." With that, she turns away, leaving Maven standing alone in the dim light. Outside, thunder rumbles across the sky, echoing the storm brewing within her. The game is changing, and Mare Barrow is ready to play, for keeps. Or is she? The storm breaks just before dawn, rain lashing against the palace windows like 1,000 tiny fists. Mare lies awake in her bed, staring at the ceiling as lightning flashes across the sky, lightning that feels eerily familiar. It's not just the weather keeping her up, it's the question gnawing at her soul. Who can I trust? Maven's betrayal cuts deeper than she expected, unraveling threads of doubt about everyone around her. Even Cal, with his fierce loyalty and quiet intensity, seems shadowed by secrets she doesn't fully understand. But there's no time to dwell on uncertainty. The Scarlet Guard has summoned her again, this time for something bigger than planting evidence or gathering intel. They're planning an attack, a bold strike against the Silver Stronghold during the Sun Festival, a celebration meant to glorify their power over Reds. Mare knows the risks are astronomical, but so is the potential reward. If they succeed, it could turn the tide of the rebellion. If they fail, well, failure isn't an option anymore. As Mare prepares for the mission, she finds herself drawn into another sparring session with Cal. Their matches have become ritualistic, almost sacred, a place where masks fall away, if only briefly. Today, though, the air crackles with more than just electricity. Every swing of Cal's sword feels heavier, every parry sharper, until finally, he disarms her with a swift twist of his blade. Mare stumbles back, breathing hard, and meets his gaze. "What are you running from?" he demands, his voice low but piercing. "You act like you don't care about anything, but I see it, Mare. You're fighting for something, or someone." His words hit too close to home. Fighting for someone? Isn't that what got her into this mess in the first place? Her family, Shade, the Scarlet Guard, they've all asked her to sacrifice pieces of herself. And now Maven and Cal, both pulling her in opposite directions, each wanting something different from her. She wants to scream, to tell Cal that caring is dangerous, that love is a liability she can't afford. Instead, she forces a bitter laugh. "You wouldn't understand," she says, retrieving her weapon. "You've never had to choose between survival and freedom." Cal's jaw tightens, but he doesn't press further. Instead, he steps closer, lowering his voice. "Then let me help you fight for both." For a moment, Mare allows herself to believe him, to imagine a world where alliances aren't built on lies, where trust isn't a weapon wielded against her. But the illusion shatters when Maven appears at the training grounds, watching them with an unreadable expression. His presence reminds her why she can't afford weakness. Not here, not now. The night of the Sun Festival arrives cloaked in tension. The city buzzes with anticipation, its streets alive with music and laughter, while beneath the surface, the Scarlet Guard moves like ghosts, setting the stage for chaos. Mare wears her disguise carefully, blending seamlessly into the crowd of Silvers who sip wine and admire fireworks. Inside, however, she's a live wire, every nerve attuned to the plan unfolding around her. When the signal comes, a flare exploding above the palace, Mare springs into action. She uses her powers to disable Silver Guards, creating openings for the rebels to infiltrate key locations. The air fills with shouts and screams as panic spreads like wildfire. For the first time, Mare feels the rush of true power. Not just the ability to strike with lightning, but the knowledge that she's striking back against centuries of oppression. Yet even amidst the chaos, doubt creeps in. As she fights alongside the Scarlet Guard, she notices cracks forming within their ranks. Some hesitate, unwilling to take lives, even those of Silvers. Others grow reckless, consumed by vengeance. Mare realizes then that revolutions aren't born purely of hope. They're forged in anger, fear, and desperation. And sometimes, those emotions burn too hot, consuming everything in their path. Her worst fears come true when Maven confronts her mid-battle. His face is pale but resolute, his eyes searching hers for answers she refuses to give. "Why are you doing this?" he asks, his voice trembling. "I was trying to protect you." "Protect me?" Mare snaps, her voice raw with fury. "By lying to me? By using me? I did what I had to." Maven fires back, stepping closer. "Just like you're doing now." The accusation stings because it's true. In her quest for justice, Mare has made choices she'll never be able to undo. She's lied, manipulated, and fought dirty, all in the name of freedom. Is she any better than the people she's rebelling against? Before she can respond, an explosion rocks the courtyard, sending debris raining down. Maven grabs her arm, pulling her toward safety, but Mare wrenches free. "Don't touch me," she snarls, her voice breaking. "I don't know who you are anymore." And she means it. Maven isn't the boy she thought she knew, and maybe she isn't the girl he thought he loved either. The battle ends in a haze of smoke and blood. Though the Scarlet Guard manages to deal significant blows to the Silver regime, the cost is staggering. Lives lost, alliances fractured, trust shattered beyond repair. As Mare surveys the aftermath, standing amidst the ruins of what was once a symbol of Silver supremacy, she feels hollow. Victory tastes bitter when it comes at such a price. Back at the rebel stronghold, Mare retreats to solitude, seeking solace in the quiet moments before reality crashes back in. She writes letters to her family, knowing they may never reach them. She trains harder, pushing herself until exhaustion dulls the ache in her chest. And she dreams of fire and lightning, of cages breaking open, of a world where blood doesn't define destiny. One evening, Kel finds her sitting alone on the edge of a cliff, watching the horizon bleed crimson as the sun sets. He sits beside her without speaking, offering only his presence. For once, Mare doesn't push him away. Maybe it's because she's tired of fighting, or maybe it's because she sees something in him, a reflection of her own struggle, her own longing for redemption. I used to think power was everything, she admits after a long silence. That if I could just prove we're equal, things would change. But now you realize it's not enough, Cal finishes softly. Power without purpose is meaningless. Mare nods, tears slipping down her cheeks. She doesn't know what the future holds, for her, for the rebellion, for the fractured kingdom, but she knows one thing for certain: she won't stop fighting. Not until the cage is gone, not until the walls crumble, not until the world sees Reds not as tools or threats, but as people. As the stars begin to pierce the twilight sky, Mare stands, resolve burning brighter than ever. She's still a red girl with silver powers, still caught between worlds. But she's also something more, a spark igniting a flame that will consume the old order and light the way to something new. And she's ready to burn. Feel like you're meant for more, but don't know how to get there? You're not alone. Every success story starts with doubt and a spark. The Self-Made Millionaire, Zero to Wealth isn't just a book. It's your roadmap to purpose, confidence, and success, built on real lessons from real millionaires. One reader said, "It didn't feel like a book. It felt like my future talking to me." Inside, you'll find the exact mindset and principles used by the world's most successful people. No fluff, just real, life-changing wisdom. Ready to take the first step? Get it 100% free. Just subscribe and comment "book" below.